%85% of partners prefer a man who is groomed below the waist, and 96% of partners think bad grooming is a major turn-off. That's where Manscaped have come in to help us all out, including myself, lads. The Lawnmower 4.0 is a trimmer specifically designed with our crown jewels in mind. It has skin-safe technology to reduce those nicks and cuts and gives you the maximum confidence while trimming below the waist. It's also IPX7 waterproof rated, so you can operate in wet or dry conditions. It has a premium 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology and a massive 90-minute battery time, which is supported by its wireless electromagnetic charging function. With the Performance Package 4.0, you'll get the Crop Reviver with witch hazel and powerful odor defense. This keeps your balls protected after a good shave. Crop Preserver with its soothing aloe vera and advanced quick absorbing cream, keeping your balls feeling fresh and hydrated. And the Weed Whacker to trim ear and nose hair. The Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to keep you the most groomed man in the room. Use our code XTRA20 XTRA20 at checkout and you'll save yourself 20% off your order and receive free international shipping. Well. Our return to Wembley is going to be a madness, guys. Manchester City will play Manchester United in the FA Cup final. The first time the Manchester sides have ever faced each other in a cup final. Big up to the guys at Manscaped for sponsoring today's stream. You guys have just seen the advert. You know what it's about. Get down to manscaped.com, mate, and use code XTRA20 for 20% off and free shipping. Make sure you smash a like on the stream and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well on our quest to 75,000 subscribers. I mean, Manchester derbies are stressful enough, man. A cup final?
Come
on, man.
I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I see so many mixed reactions online. People saying they would have preferred Man United because they're not as good a footballing team. And I'm with you. I think in terms of football, Brighton are probably a better team, but this is so much more than just two 11s taken to the pitch and playing a game of football. This is an absolute occasion. This is going to be like World War III, a Manchester Derby Cup final, City in the pursuit of a treble. And we could potentially have a Champions League final 7 days later. We'll be off the back of a heavy title run-in. It just reeks. It absolutely reeks. Of course, I back our players. I'll always back our team to win. I just think this is really, really heavy stuff, man. It's disgusting. My nerve, I'm going to it. I've booked my trip over, and my nerves are already sick. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah, it's a madness, because of course the league is already going to be completed by then. The league is done. So if we win the league, they are going to be so up for this game because they're going to be up for it anyway because it's a Manchester derby, right? But they'll be waiting. They'll be waiting because they'll obviously have it in their hands to stop the treble from happening if we win the league. Like, it's just going to be a madness. Now, it's funny because I actually think that in terms of just pure football ability and football situation, I'd rather play Man United than Brighton. I think
Yeah.
Brighton are a better team than Man United. That's my honest opinion. I'm not even just saying that to like sort of like roast United or anything. Like I'm genuinely being serious. I think Brighton are a better team than Man United. But because it's Man United, because of everything that will go into the game, because they'll be so desperate to stop us from doing the treble if we've won the league, it's just going to be so difficult and so stressful. If we win, of course, I mean, is there anything better? Is there anything better than beating Man United in a final? But if we lose, especially, I almost think like if we win the league, it's so weird. I almost feel like if we win the league, it's almost worse if they beat us in the FA Cup because then they'll say to us forever, "We stop you from winning we stop you from winning the treble. We stop you from winning the treble." Whereas if we don't win the league and we get knocked out against Real Madrid in the win, then it's just like it's still very painful. But at least they can't have that over us that they stopped us from winning the treble, man. It's like, oh mate, it's fucking. I can't believe this game, man. It's hella big. It's hella big.
There's also the situation whereby if we don't win the league and they stop us winning the FA Cup, then it's down to a Champions League final and we're talking about a trophyless season. Like, there's so much riding on this. And, like, listen, I was there for the game in Old Trafford in January. And for people who don't get to go to these games, I don't think you'll ever understand the vibe around Manchester United right now, the hunger they have to get back to our level and to try and overtake us. The noise in Old Trafford in January that day, I'll give them credit. It was through the roof. It was really, it was raucous. They're desperate to get at us. They're desperate to stop us any way they can. They're desperate to pinch us, ruin us, damage us, whatever way they can. I expect nothing less, if not possibly more, on June 3rd. And listen, the last Premier League game is May 28th. So 6 days later, we're going to Wembley for an FA Cup final. Potentially, God willing, 7 days after that, a Champions League final, should we get past Real Madrid. Like, it just reeks. And the thing is, it's so much to expect City to just go into robot mode and win every single game. Like, are we bound to have an off day? When is the off day? Who's it going to be against? And
Well,
you're going to have a ravenous Man United waiting to snap on our heels. I'm not afraid of them. I fully believe we are a much better team than them. And if we're on form, we will beat them, hands down. The whole occasion is just filling my head full of mad scenarios here right now, bro.
It is partly that as well. Like, we're on such good form. When is this? When is the L? When does the L arrive? Because you got to lose at some point, right? But I don't know. It's just the thing is, right, we're obviously in great form right now. We're playing well, but the game isn't for over a month. You know what I mean? There's over a month to go. I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this. I honestly, if we win, I know this is obvious, but if we win, it's like the best feeling ever. Like, you can literally, especially if we're in the final of the Champions League and we've already won the Prem, because then it's like not only have we won the FA Cup, not only have you beat Man United in the FA Cup, you're also then one step away from the treble, and Man United fans will be so they'll feel so sick the fact that we could potentially win the treble, including beating them in the final. It would be insane. But I don't know, man. It's just they're going to be so up for this. And you've got to say as well, you've got to give them credit. They've been to Wembley now twice this season and won both times. Obviously, beat Newcastle, beat Brighton. And the thing is with Ten Hag is he understands that their team is not as good as Manchester City's. And therefore, he plays ollie ball. He'll play counter-attacking football. If Pep Guardiola was at Manchester United, he wouldn't play counter-attacking football. He'd try and play attacking football and we'd get beat. And that's what happened in Pep Guardiola's first season. We went away to places trying to play attacking football, didn't work, and we got panned. He will play negative football, just like he did at Old Trafford, sit on the edge of the penalty area and play counter-attacking football. And if we're not good enough in the build-up play, that's what it'll come down to. If we're not good enough in the build-up play, we'll get beat. That's it. If we are good enough in the build-up play, we'll win the game. That's it for me, because they're not going to take us on. They're not going to go to Wembley and take us on, because Ten Hag is not a dumb guy. He knows that if he tries to take us on, Man United will get beat. So we've got to try and break them down. It could be tough. But I'm backing the boys, man. You know what I mean? I feel like if we turn up there, Pep Guardiola gets his tactics right, don't do nothing stupid, and we build up from the back properly, then we can get the result, man. But fuck me, I mean, Man United Cup final, FA Cup, unbelievable, bro.
That's what you just said there is another reason why there is an element of doubt. Like, I don't want people to come to perceive me wrong here, that I feel we're going to lose this game and I'm a big, doubter. I fully believe we'll win this game. I back our team and I expect us to beat them because we are a much better team. But we have to also pay respect to the fact that, yes, this pragmatic football that Ten Hag plays it's not ballsy. It's not what you would say a ballsy manager who really backs his players would do. But we've been at the back, we've been on the brunt of it. It's effective. It is effective against Manchester City. And that requires us to play at our best. If we genuinely aren't at our best, their pragmatic counter-attacking football is super, super effective. I don't need to list off the amount of times we've been stung by it. And you just don't know. You just don't know where we will be in 6 weeks' time. You just don't know who gets injured, who's fit. Have we won the league? Have we not? Are we in a Champions League final? Are we not? I mean, if we win the league, that FA Cup final becomes absolutely huge. If we get to the Champions League final, that FA Cup final becomes absolutely huge. Losing FA Cup final, does that change our mentality going into a Champions League final? How does it affect us? There's so much psychological ins and outs going on here that you just simply can't predict. And that's what adds a huge element of nerves. You're only human. You have to feel nervous about this kind of occasion.
No, I completely agree. Big up to Ayan with the member chat. Says, I can't lie, I'm confident. I think Brighton would have had a better chance of beating us. I reckon we destroyed Man United. And Benno with a £2 super chat says, not looking forward to the ticket chaos for this one. That's from Benno with a super chat. Yeah, I mean, it's historic. These two sides, Man City and Man United, despite being in existence for over 100 years, have never faced each other in an FA Cup final.
But you know what? If you were to pick one time in the whole history of both clubs for this to happen, it's now. It is now.
Yeah,
with the way our team's playing, the players we have on our squad, the confidence oozing through our team that hopefully, please God, will continue to then, is now. You'd ask for it now.
Yeah, it's it's a crazy situation how we play United in the final, and just with everything going on in the league, with the Champions League, the fact that we are on for a treble, Man United could be in a position to stop our treble hopes. I mean, it's unbelievable, really unbelievable. How this has worked out. But listen, I didn't catch all the game today. I only seen it in bits and bats. I watched the extra time, but the actual game I only saw little bits and bats. They're not a good side. They're not a good side, Man United. They are a poor team, man. They are a very poor team. If we turn up on, I think you just said this as well. We turn up on in that final, we win the game. It's quite simple. We win the game. We're better than them. In fact, we are so much better than them. It's unbelievable. The difference is Ten Hag he knows that. Ten Hag knows that his team is nowhere near the level of Manchester City, and therefore he sets his team up to obviously sit back, defend well, and then get us on the break, which has worked so many times. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did it against us pure times. You're not telling me that Man United's team under Ole was better than City. You're not telling me that Pep Guardiola is a worse manager than Ole. No, the difference is Ole just set his team up to counter-attack every time. And for whatever reason, we didn't score enough goals. We were poor defending. One thing I would say is obviously with Haaland in the side, and we've obviously had that. We've had that experience going to Old Trafford earlier in the season. Obviously, you was at the game where we lost 2-1. We shouldn't have lost it. Obviously, an offside goal. We've got that experience. We know how they're going to set up against us. So long as Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland play well, we win the game. It's quite simple. But it's not. It's easier said than done, isn't it?
You just, that's what I'm saying, man. You don't even know will they be available. You don't know who's fit. You don't know what's going on. It's so hard to predict how this match will play out because it's so far away and there's so many circumstances involved. But we have to. I mean, I'm only showing this element of doubt right now because it's raw, it's fresh, it's a derby, it's a final. But when you break it down to the nitty gritty and you look at both football teams, we should win. But we're just very conscious of the fact that there will be a huge fire in the belly in those Man United players, Eric Ten Hag, and those fans. That is their Champions League final now this season. It's their last game of the season, and it's possibly now their most important game of the season. It's possibly one of their most important games in history. It's possibly one of their most important games in their history because they're now trying to stop us repeating what they've already done. And what they did in that year was so special. To win a treble is so, so special. And I give them credit for that. But they're now trying to stop us equaling that. That is huge for them. So it won't be a fire in the belly. It'll be a flamethrower. They're going to come at us with so much vengeance trying to stop us. And we have to be prepared. We can't. The thing is, for me, I'll say it now and I'll say it before the game. Play the game, not the occasion. I know it's so cliche. The players need to just not play the occasion. Don't get soaked into the context around it. Don't get soaked into treble talk, fans this, fans that, trophies, league, Champions League. It's you versus Man United. We're a better team. That day, we should beat them. Simple as. Hopefully, we have a fully fit squad, and then I'll feel good about it. It's hard, man.
No, I agree. It's going to be a madness. Big up to Moulin with the super chat. Says, like Pep said, if you're tired, fuck you. If you're not tired if you want to be champion. I agree, man. I agree. And you know, I did a video today with Robbie from AFTV, and you know, I said to him, I said, look, winning things is not meant to be easy, right? Becoming Premier League champions, it's not meant to be easy. Becoming Champions League winners, it's not meant to be easy. And to become treble winners, that is not easy. We're going to have to go for it. I'm pretty sure that from now to the end of the season, we'll have 1 or 2 down days, whatever that may mean. But it's about overcoming those. And we got to overcome a big obstacle in that FA Cup final. Man City versus Man United, the first ever FA Cup final between the two sides. I mean, guys, that's historic. You got to understand. I mean, we were going to be these clubs have existed for over 100 years. 100 years these clubs have existed, and this is the first time ever that they've faced each other in an FA Cup final. This is unbelievable history being written in front of us, guys. You know what I mean? So let's hope that City can make history and win that game between the two sides, because if we do, there's a very real chance that we could be on for a treble, you know? At the end of the day, we are better than them. We all know we're better than them. United fans will admit we're better than them. But sometimes, you know, football is a strange game, man. You know what I mean? You can look at it on paper and it doesn't always work out that way. So we got to go there, do our job. Pep Guardiola, put out the proper team, get Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland link up together, and then we go from there. But we're going to have to defend that counter-attack, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to sit there and counter-attack us.
You hit the nail on the head when you said the best team doesn't always win. I mean, our whole Champions League experience so far to date is, a lot of them, is the best team doesn't always win. Champions League final, we were the best team in Europe that season. We were better on paper than Chelsea, and we didn't win. Just because you're a better footballing team doesn't mean you won't win. I mean, let's have a chat about what your ideal scenario is going into that game. Would you rather that the title race goes down to the wire last day of the season, so you're carrying on that momentum, that steam all the way through week after week? Or would you rather the title race is wrapped up maybe a week early and we can kind of chill out a little bit at, say, Brentford, and start preparing for FA Cup?
I don't think it really matters. My opinion. Really? I don't think it really matters, because, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think when they go into the game on a Saturday and play that FA Cup game, I don't really think City are going to be thinking too much about the league or anything like that. They're just thinking about the game. They're not going to be thinking how they won it. They're not going to be thinking anything like that. We've got a week to prepare. The City players are very experienced. They're very dialed in. They're very focused. You know, you only have to listen to what Rodri said the other day in the interview after the Champions League game. They're very focused. They're very dialed in. So I think whether we win it early, this Premier League, whether we win it on the last day, whether we don't win it at all, I just think the players will be dialed in and they'll be ready to go. It's just about moving the ball better than we did at the Old Trafford. And we get the team up that we played that day, because it was a...
Well, even before you do, I can tell you right now that we're a much better team today than we were that day. Much better. This team has come on leaps and bounds since that day in Old Trafford.
Okay, yeah. So if I look at the team, bro, I mean, it's not the team that we'd be playing now. So we had... yeah, I can get it up on screen. Let me get it up on screen, man. Here we go. Share screen. Let's see. Here we go. Let me zoom in. Here we go. Right. So a few issues here, right? First of all, Walker doesn't get in our team anymore. Because the reason I'm saying this, guys, because for people who have forgot, which, you know, GG's if you forgot, because it was grim. The sole reason, forget about the offside goal. The reason we didn't win this game was because our build-up play was fucking abysmal. That's it. And if you look at the back four, you can understand why. We had Kyle Walker, not great at build-up play. We had Akanji playing in the middle, not good enough. We had Ake playing. At that point, his build-up play was poor. And we had Cancelo, who obviously, you know what I mean, something was going on there. You had Bernardo Silva dropping into the centre-back position to pick the ball up. What that did is it left Kevin De Bruyne completely isolated. That's the issue. If we look at the team that's going to play this time against Man United, you're probably going to have John Stones in the middle. Okay, so you got an extra player. What does that do? Well, that means that Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, whoever it's going to be, doesn't have to come deep. They're going to be further up the pitch. You're going to have Ruben Diaz. You're going to have Ake, obviously, who's now improved since that time. And then who else plays in our back four? Akanji, but he plays on the right. And I think he's better on the right than he is in the central position. So we're going to be much better. We're going to be much more equipped to break down Manchester United. It's going to be a completely different game to the one that we saw at Old Trafford. That defence stinks. There's no surprise. And the fact that he played Bernardo Silva, I don't know if Gundogan was on the bench. The fact that he played Bernardo Silva in that midfield when he played that defence is a mystery to me. You got to play Gundogan there. But we will be much better equipped, bro. We'll be much better equipped to deal with United with the current defence setup. Because that's the reason why we didn't win that game. Because it was the defence. And people will say, we only scored a goal. Yeah, we only scored a goal because our defence was pony. They didn't know how to pass the ball forward. Every single pass was sideways, man.
Yeah, that team you whipped up there absolutely honks in comparison to the team that takes the pitch now. I mean, even just throw Ruben Diaz in there alone, it's a massive improvement. So I think you're right. I'd expect Jack Grealish to play on the left. He should have started that day in Old Trafford. You saw the impact he added when he came on. Cancelo, with all due respect, I think Ake can lock down Anthony. I think Ake is an experienced enough defender and he has enough quality, we know now, to lock down a one-dimensional player. I'm sorry. I think Anthony is technically, he's a good footballer. He's got good feet. He's got a good touch, but I'm sorry, that's not enough. He's not diverse enough. He's too predictable, and I expect a player who's already locked down someone like Bukayo Saka and other top wingers to lock him down. The big threat's obviously Rashford, because if we put John Stones into the middle and play a flat back three, there is that bit more space for Rashford to exploit, but that's kind of it. I mean, I'm struggling to think of other, like, we've played against better teams than Man United since our team has improved.
The thing is as well, you know what's funny though about Anthony is the fact that that I don't think they should play Anthony United. I think that they need to go with Pep because they're going to play counter-attacking football. So to play Anthony, they need to be playing the likes of Martial, Rashford, I know Sancho's not that fast, but the faster players. I think if they play Anthony, that probably works into our hands, bro, because he's not the fastest player. You know what I mean? So I think that's probably a W for say. Big up to Nick Tower with a super chat. Says, I honestly prefer to play United over Brighton. I do, footballing wise, purely football. Forget the name, just two blank teams and looking at the players. Yeah, I agree. The fact that it's Man United, bro, that's the difference. Big up Musa as well with the 5-month super chat. Says, I don't know why you guys are scared. I believe we're going to win 100%. I think we'll win. But, bro, if we do lose, fuck me. I mean, that's a hard one to take, man. A cup final against Man United. Jeez.
That'll be held over us for years.
Especially if we win the Prem and get to the Champions League final, because then they can say that they've stopped us from doing the treble. You know what I mean? And they'll fucking love that. I mean, let's be honest. If we go on to win the Premier League and the Champions League, I think we'll still be buzzing. You know what I mean? But like, it's just that extra little bit, man. It's that extra little bit. But listen, CB says you boys sound scared. It's one of them, bro. I don't know I don't know what I am. I don't know.
I think you have to treat it with respect. You have to treat the occasion with respect. I've had some of my friends who are City fans saying 5-0 City. I'm like, this is no foregone conclusion. I'm sorry, absolutely no foregone conclusion. I think me and LB have expressed our thoughts enough for you guys to understand that we back this team to beat Man United. Throw both of our best teams out there, fully fit and healthy. We back Man City to win. It's just the occasion. It's just all the context around it. And like I've already alluded to, I believe as long as our players and our manager don't buy into all that, just treat it as this is one game we have to win. Don't think about everything else surrounding it. I fully believe we'll win. Yeah. But there's always that with a derby, a lot of people always say form goes out the window and all that kind of thing, and you take that into play. There's always going to be that little 3-4% of, but what if? So it's kind of a hard one, man.
Yeah. Look, it's going to be a madness, guys. Manchester Derby FA Cup final, the first ever Manchester Derby FA Cup final in over 100 years. That is absolutely incredible. It's going to be a historic occasion, a historical day, one that people will speak about for years to come. This has never happened before. Going to be madness. Will City be champions, or will we not be champions by the time we'll play? We'll find out. We'll find out in the coming weeks. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, let's just fingers crossed that City can get the job done with a better team, as you said. And yeah, I'm backing the boys. I'm backing the boys. Right, well, we're back tomorrow. Make sure you we've got some couple videos that went out. Obviously, if you've not seen Hugh's review to the game yesterday, go check that out. We've got the player ratings that we did this morning. You could go check that out if you've not seen the player ratings. Still plenty of stuff for you guys to see. We'll be back tomorrow, back on normal schedule. It's going to be a madness, hectic period of the season. The biggest game of the season coming up this Wednesday. You don't want to miss a single stream now, man. It's going to be crazy. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. Make sure you smash a like on it. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. And guys, we'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit. 85% of partners prefer a man who is groomed below the waist, and 96% of partners think bad grooming is a major turn-off. That's where Manscaped have come in to help us all out, including myself, lads. The Lawnmower 4.0 is a trimmer specifically designed with our crown jewels in mind. It has skin-safe technology to reduce those nicks and cuts and gives you the maximum confidence while trimming below the waist. It's also IPX7 waterproof rated, so you can operate in wet or dry conditions. It has a premium 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology and a massive 90-minute battery time, which is supported by its wireless electromagnetic charging function. With the Performance Package 4.0, you'll get the Crop Reviver with witch hazel and powerful odor defense. This keeps your balls protected after a good shave. Crop Preserver with its soothing aloe vera and advanced quick absorbing cream, keeping your balls feeling fresh and hydrated. And the Weed Whacker to trim ear and nose hair. The Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to keep you the most groomed man in the room. Use our code XTRA20 XTRA20 at checkout and you'll save yourself 20% off your order and receive free international shipping.
Well.